Alright, hey guys, I'm Matt in the video, and today let's check out the Calradia map in the Bannerlord digital companion app. Okay, let's do it. Boom, Calradia map. So we saw pictures of it, and now as you can see, we got you got 6 buttons up here, right? And these are all of the kingdoms that we have. We have toggle borders. Oh, to take them off, you want to just see the picture of it. Very nice map, by the way. It's a nice art style. I like it. It's very, I don't even know how you would explain this. It's like it looks like that medieval kind of like painted glass type of artwork, right? I like it a lot. I like it a lot. All right, let's read it. What's it called? I clicked on one of these before, and it's just reading a lot. So let's do it. Where do we want to start? Let's start from left. Let's go from left to right. So Vlandia first. Alrighty, Vlandia. The Vlandia monarch descends from Orsric Iron Arm, a warlord who seized the western coast of the empire and was recognized as king by the emperors as the price of peace. He in turn recognized his lieutenants as barons and counts, granting them suzerainty, I don't know what that is, over their lands in exchange for rallying to his banner in war. Some Vlandian kings have sought to expand the powers of kingship. Others have allowed the barons to feud among themselves so long as the money and manpower was there when needed. Cool. Alrighty. Next. How do I exit out of this? Britannia. From time immemorial, there have been a high king of Britannia crowned with the great ceremony of the sacred hill of Donthnach. Ask any Britannian chieftain, however, whose kingdom he lives in, and he will look around at his hall and his fields and his pastures, his flocks and his retainers, and answer mine, of course. Only lately, following the example of the empire, have the high kings made any effort to exert their authority. Such unruly cattle as my people require a strong herdsman hand to steer them from the ravine and protect them from the wolf, said the one recent high king, just because he was betrayed by a jealous cousin and taken into chains to the nearest imperial outpost. Cool. Okay. Next. Let's kind of go around now and then do the empires last, right? So Sturgia next. Sturgia, the confederation of small kingdoms that is now the Principality of Sturgia, came into being over a century ago. As boomtowns sprung up alongside the bays and lakes of the north, the local tribe leaders forged marriage pacts with Nords and other adventurers, hiring their swords to subdue their neighbors. Okay. Under pressure from the empire, they elected a prince to lead them in war, and eventually the princes became a hereditary office. But the idea of monarchy has never set easily with the independent-minded boyars, and the potential for rebellion also always, sorry about that, lurks under the surface of Sturgian politics. Jesus, can't read today. Okay. Khazaits! For centuries, the tribes in the vast steppe east of the empire were content to live as nomads, venturing into the imperial lands to raid and trade, and then return to their ancestral freedom. 2 generations ago, however, something happened far away from the east. A change in the winds, perhaps, or some terrible but distant conqueror, and the horse clans were set in motion. Urkhan, the Khazate, led the nomads nearest the empire into its far eastern provinces, conquering the towns and forming a khanate. He imposed discipline on the unruly clans, forced them to ride to war on his command instead of simply when they wished. But after his death, the spirit of unity that he inspired was lost. His descendants still rule the Khanates, but some of the, or Khanates, I don't know how to say it, but some of the other Khazate leaders, was it Chaff? Under the authority of current Khan Manchug, and others dream of becoming Khan themselves. Alright, but you're jealous. Okay. Next, Azerai. The empire always preferred not to send its legions into the army, devouring wastes of the Nahasa. Instead, it projected its power into the borderland of cultivating client rulers among the clans, who competed in an endless dance of power. These clans could secure a hold of the Oasis, secure a hold of the O's, won an imperial subsidy to protect passing caravans, and grew rich. Those who could not were pushed into the desert, left to raise goats and raid caravans until they could plot a comeback. Today, with the waning of the empire, the Azrai have agreed to form a confederacy under a sultan chosen from the richest of clans, the Banu Halyan. But everyone knows that the dance has only temporarily been stopped, and at the right moment, it will begin again. Alright, so some tensions there. Okay. So what do we got so far? So, obviously the Azrai, they're all about their gold, you know what I mean? They're all about, you know what I mean, getting that money, and they're, very, very competitive. The Khazaits, they like to raid, you know what time it is. Vlandia, he was a fearsome warrior. He was kind of feared. Sturgia, there were a bunch of little, I guess like principalities as they called it. And then they, they kind of joined together, but there's potential rebellion there. Now onto the empires. Let's start with Northern Empire. Many of the oldest families of the empire live in the north. They came here as the Marcher Lords, granted vast tracts of land by their colleagues in the Senate to keep the pacified northern tribes in check and hold the frontiers against Britannia, Sturgians, and Khazate raiders. They drained marshes and turned the river floodplains into wheat fields, cut back forests, and turned the hillsides into pastures. But as the Republic became an empire and the emperors became more and more dependent on money and lands to reward their loyal soldiers, the nobility here began to fear that their estates would one day be seized by some cash-starved tyrant. Consequently, in the ongoing imperial civil war, they have become some of the strongest champions of Lucan, who sees a senate of established property holders as the supreme authority and the emperor as its servants. Okay. So they're kind of scared. Alright, it is what it is. Western Empire. According to the tradition, this kind of blocks it. According to the tradition, the first Calradians entered the continent as exiles, coming from lands across the Western Ocean. But the Empire's center of gravity moved east and south, and their original heartlands has, for the most part, been lost to the Vlandians. Oh, so they used to be over here. Then they got pushed. Okay. The west of the Empire today, a warm green land of oak forest and volcanic outcrops, was mostly conquered from the Palaic tribes. They have intermarried with Calradian colonists, and today their old languages and customs are mostly forgotten. Service and allegiance have traditionally been a path out of rural poverty, and many an ambitious general has drawn his most loyal recruits from the region. The landowners here have naturally gravitated towards Garrios, the partisan soldiers, and soldiers' interest in the ongoing civil war. Okay, so they're pretty much in shambles. They're, you know what I mean? Like they're barely sticking around. The big guys pretty much left. RIP. All right. Last, Southern Empire. The lands that are now the Southern Empire were once ruled by the proud independent city-states controlling trading routes over the Purasic Sea and the Steppe. They invited the empire into their internal feuds, and one by one they were absorbed. Oh man, so they're pretty much like leeches or like parasites. That's tough. Some by territory, some by conquest. Calradian aristocrats intermarried with the merchant princes and nomad chiefs, many of whom claim descendants from the kings and champions of demigods of Eastern legends. So they pretty much Khazates and mix the Azrai and kind of like the independent people there. Okay. What is this? Many of whom claim descendants from the king and champion. Okay, we read that. In recent generations, as the towns grew to become some of the richest and most populous in the continent, many senatorial families elsewhere became suspicious that the Southerners would someday try to make one of their own into a hereditary monarch. The Southern nobility support for Regia, an unapologetic advocate of the dynastic principle, would seem to confirm these fears. Tough. Alrighty. Pretty cool. Again, a little bit of background. Let me turn this off real quick so I can talk. A little bit of background. Very cool. I like the map design. It's very nice. Like, just by itself, it's... Ooh, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, I like it a lot. Very cool addition. Oh, it has like a little sound to it as well. Okay, very cool addition. I think it's a very cool addition. And also, we're going to go over all the other stuff in the next video. So we already have this. We just did this, and we're probably going to do these. I'm probably not going to do the soundtracks on my channel. I'm not going to lie to you. I know there's channels like that are mainly game soundtracks, so I'm going to let them have that, right? But we're going to go over the concept art, and we're also going to go over the credits, okay? That'll do it for me, and I will see you in the next video.